Right, so namaste and welcome to Old Boy TV. I am your old boy, and I'm happy, and I hope you're happy too. It's kind of impossible to really do anything without having to mention the whole Epstein, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, in fact all of them. The list goes on. All of these great big wealthy, famous, entitled people, seemingly, as people like myself have actually been stating for a couple of decades actually that this is the case, and being told by friends, family and anyone else that you might bring it up with. You learn very quickly not to even bring it up, even though it's that important and that big, because it's too impossible to get your head around. No, there's no way that can happen. Really, there's no way that can be. And here it is. And I very much doubt that the millions of people like myself that have been saying this for a very long time will have anyone say, oh God, I'm so sorry that I vilified you and ridiculed you when you were saying that this is exactly what the case is. It's the glue that holds them together. You know, paedophilia seems to be it. I mean, the money seems to be the thing that's going to be brought up a lot, but these people make the money themselves pretty much. We would, overbearingly, we wouldn't even know about any of that. But however, it's interesting that the mainstream media, which is probably not what a lot of you guys are watching, but the mainstream media, without a doubt, is avoiding the elephants in the room. The elephants in the room are things like, the stories of both King Charles and Bill Gates allegedly actually sacrificing children on the island, Gates cloning. The list goes on. Now, all of them are in complete denial to all of it, which is typical. And I want to say the power of the words that are being used is something to watch. They're regularly saying things like, our king. Well, he's not mine. I'm going to tell you that. He's got nothing to do with me. I don't know him. I don't have a king. Why would one want to have a king? Why would one want to be ruled? Anarchy, which the idea of anarchy for most people is the fact that there'd just be people running around and nobody policing them. But anarchy isn't a lack of rules, it's actually a lack of rulers, and there's a very big difference. Most of the things that we have in law are actually in our hearts anyway. So, it's all going on, but the fact that all of this is happening right now, and that whatever, I don't read the newspapers and I don't watch the mainstream news, right? So I've got no idea what the overbearing populace, the majority of the people are actually taking in, because I'm sure it's very, very different to the reality. And we, and the word we, well, don't know again. Can you say everybody apart from happy, please? All of the people in the world apart from happy. That's for all of you newscasters, police, politicians, anyone that regularly uses the word we on the television. Can you say everybody apart from happy? That would be very kind of you. But wow, anyway, my point is that if it's whatever is going out into the mainstream, anything that goes into the mainstream isn't an accident. It's not amazing journalists going out and finding stuff out. They're not allowed to do that to begin with. They just report what they are told to report, and most of the stuff that they do find out never gets printed because they won't be allowed for fear of upsetting the royals or the politicians or the oligarchs. So whenever it does come out, you've always got to go, okay, if they want us to be looking at this, what are they doing? Because it's a real look. Oh, look over here. Now, the things that these people do are abhorrent, literally abhorrent. I was part of I was the instigator and the idea behind an app called Find My Child. Sadly, it's not there for you to download anymore because CEOP, which is Child Protection Online, Missing People, the biggest charity for missing children specifically, but missing people across the world, fundamentally teamed up and took myself, my partner Roger Moffat, who sadly has recently passed, a genius, an absolute genius man, and there was another app similar to ours, and the idea was it was to help people right there and then, because if you lose track of a child right now here, it's too late calling the police, it's too late waiting for external forces to come to me. I need help now and here. And our app alerted people within 4 square kilometres with a picture of the child. Mariella Fostrop, amazing, lovely lady, was the voice of the app, and we were doing really, really well. But yeah, we were taken down basically by CEOP because they don't want children to be found, because they need them for torturing, having sex with, and sadly torturing more and then eating. No, that sounds insane, but that's actually the reality. So while I was going through this, it's quite easy to check these numbers out, but this is how we can be deceived and how numbers can be overwhelming sometimes. Because while I was obviously building this app and we were trying to work with the police because we wanted them on our side, the idea was for that to help them and be able to give them all of the information that we had instantaneously. The number of children, the number supposed of children reported missing in the UK every year is 160,000. Now the reason I say it's supposed is because there is no actual remit for individual forces to actually have to make note of a reporting of a missing child. Unlike a car has to be reported because of the DVLA and everything, and the property of the state. Well, children are theoretically property of the state as well, but if you're in the game of children smuggling and children stealing and children hurting, then and if you are one of those people, then it's very good for you having kids go missing. You don't want kids found because you're probably taking them. Anyway, the number's 160,000, which is a very big number, but it's also almost overwhelmingly big. It's very hard for people to actually put something like that into context, and so putting it into context, right, on the television, most days you'll be told lots of numbers, what the FTSE 100 or the Nasdaq is, or how much the pound against the dollar or how many goals this team scored, or what temperature the day is likely to be tomorrow. So they're very good at giving out these numbers. Well, 160,000 divided by 365 is a shocking, it's pouring with rain in London, quite exciting, is an absolutely shocking 300, I might be a little bit wrong on this, but do your own working out. But yeah, 160,000 divided by 365 is 349 kids every single day. What's going on? Why are we not being informed of this? Because by being informed of that, everybody would get angry. The football supporters who, they're distracted because they've got all of those men running around the park with balls to kick to take all of their time, but they are ultimately good people that are just being distracted. That's what televised sport is all about, professional sport is all about. It's a weapon of mass distraction. And so if they were aware of the fact that every single day on average 349 kids are reported missing. And in the if you Google this or look at the Bible, there's a million places that are giving the same numbers. They state a large majority of these kids turn up again. However, some fall into the hands of criminals. Now, fall into the hands of criminals. Let's really play with that for a minute. Because it's not like finding a lorry full of tellies, is it? And you go, "Hey, look at that, boys! Yeah, we got a load of tellies to sell down the market next week. My brother-in-law wanted one of these. How much should we flog them for?" Right? Those are the sort of things that you know, when if it falls into criminal hands. But even hardened criminals, if you find a kid, you generally it's a natural thing to try and repatriate it with its parents. You know, get it to some help or help it straight away. Most people would be doing that. However, the people smuggling and child smuggling particularly industry, and it is an industry, it's an industrial scale, with countries like Ukraine being very, very, very big parts of the hubs of organ harvesting and you know, distribution of kids for people that are having ceremonies and eating them. And it seems that Epstein was eating kids most of the time, and this sounds incredible. And when I, you know, again, when myself talking to my own family about this, not even that long, you know, for years and years and years, of course people won't go along with it because it's insane. Of course they're not doing that because it's not normal. We don't do that. Statistics are, there are two types of people that get involved in this. They're bloodline, you're born into it, and so if you're born into something and you're experiencing something from childhood, you don't know that it's not normal, right? So, you know, if you every Saturday torture and kill babies and then drink the blood and eat them, you're imagining that probably everybody does that, you know, or that it's certainly normal to you, so you won't be alone. And the other type of people are people that, and they're often through music, entertainment, sport as well. David Beckham seems to be very deeply tied in at the moment. There's a lot coming out about him in the Epstein files, and there'll be lots and lots of them. But they're not necessarily bloodline, but they sign a contract. And, you know, and the amount of them that say, you know, just literally go on YouTube. You're on YouTube right now. Which, by the way, like, share, really share, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you wouldn't mind, even if it's blah blah blah, write something in the comments, because that will help the algorithm see that people are mildly interested in the content I'm putting up, which is, sadly, it's not massively exciting at the moment. A lot of it's me talking in a car. There will be an awful lot more, much bigger films coming up, properly edited with music, etc. But this just had to be dealt with today. Anyway, that's what I mean. And what's going to happen in the long term? Are we going to see? I mean, maybe the Andrew, formerly known as Prince, will go to jail. Wouldn't that be funny? The thing is, you know, even if he goes into his cell day one and there'll be a great big geezer goes, "Hello, Andy. I'm your cellmate. We're gonna play mummies and daddies." And you would imagine Andy, you know, sort of a little bit shocked by this, and then the big guy goes, "Right, so what do you want to be, Andy? Do you want to be mummy or do you want to be daddy?" And you know, trying to be sharp and on top of it, and hopefully getting the right side of this. The Andrew, formerly known as Prince, would go, I'll be daddy. And the big buck will probably go, "All right, daddy, come over here and suck mummy's cock then, will ya?" And it will be great if he's going to be treated like that, but I would imagine he'll still be being called sir. if he goes to jail at all. He may well go to the island that the undead, the supposedly dead go to. I'm sure there's a big landmass out there somewhere. That's another video. Keep tuned to Old Boy TV, and we'll talk about all of this stuff. And if there's anything you'd like me to look into and talk about, I'll be very, very happy to. Anyway, the weather is appalling, and I'm certainly gonna pause this for a moment. It might be the end. If it is the end, thank you. I'm happy, and I hope you're happy too. Come back and join me again on Old Boy TV. Oh yeah. Actually, just figured we'd come back on for a couple of minutes more to just have a look at London in sort of twilight, or with sort of luminant light. It's, I would suggest that the sun, if we could have seen it today, would have gone by now. What's the time? 5:30. Yeah, getting close. But we've got, even though the rain is hard, we've got, the lights shining on the wet road. If you're making a movie or a TV program, you pay quite a lot of money to have what's referred to as a wet down. So you get a decommissioned private fire truck that will literally spray the roads and the pavements so that the lights can shine and glow and give this magic that you don't get on a dry day. Anyway, that is the end now. I'm happy, and I hope you're happy too.